Okay, welcome to a tutorial on how to set up a meet, put entries into a meet, and run a meet effectively using Colorado timing system, Hytek, sports software, and Colorado timing system with a scoreboard application as well. I will be segmenting this video into different parts, so if you want to look for a specific part, you can find that below. This video will also include the part to enter entries into a meet, whether that's yours or your own. That section would be important or helpful for those who don't know how to enter entries using Hytek. So I will help you with that. I'll have some other small videos alongside this one to post as well for other kind of little things that may be important as you set up a swim meet. One of the big things is you're going to need 3 softwares or application services on your laptops. I have 3 different laptops to show you all 3 different ones. This one in front of me right here is Hytek. This is where you create the meet and run the meet. To my right is our team manager laptop. This is where you enter the entries or create individuals to put into swim meets. And then on our left, this will be our interface for our timing system. This will be our last step. We will turn this on later because we need to turn on the whole Colorado system first. Otherwise, yes, we will start with this laptop right here, Hytek, and we're going to create, step 1 is going to be to create the swim meet from scratch. Okay, first things first, we're going to create our swim meet, which means we're going to start on our meet manager Hytek laptop here. First thing we're going to do is we have to create the meet. What we're going to go to is we're going to hit File in the top left, and we're going to hit Open New. And it's going to ask us to create a new file, so let's just make the file name, the meet, we'll just call it for YouTube. It's going to create the database. And then we get this. So what you're gonna do is it's gonna give you some things you have to type in. So your meet name, so we'll just call it tutorial meet, faculty name or facility name. Jeez Louise, facility name is whatever your facility is called. You're gonna type that in there. So we'll just say. We'll just use where I'm at right now, which is the Health Air, Wellness, and Recreation Center at Marquette University. You can chuck the address in here. You don't have to. It's probably good to have the address though. Next thing that's going to be required is your city. So Marquette is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Then your state goes here. Postal code is whatever your postal code is for your school. Country should just be USA. Sanction number, this sanction number is going to be, if let's say for club meets, I know for a fact, to make sure that they're like legit meets, once you get them sanctioned, they'll give you a code, and I believe that code's going to go right there in this box. You can tell me if I'm wrong in the comment section. And then right here, you'll choose the start date for your meet. So let's just put it on my birthday. That doesn't really matter. Then we'll go to the right. It's a 1-day meet, so it's going to end on my birthday. And the age update. Usually you make it the first day of the swim meet. So it's only 1 day, so let's make it my birthday as well because I'm going to age up on my birthday. And the entry open date. Doesn't really matter. The entry deadline also really doesn't matter because you can kind of self-impose that as a team when you're creating your meet and sending stuff out. Next, you're going to, I would say, keep the meat type standard. This is a pretty basic tutorial. It's showing you kind of how to make a basic meat without anything crazy. So we're just gonna keep that standard. You're gonna go down to here, ID format. Either it's a USA Swimming meet you're running. That's more gonna be for probably high school club stuff. But if you're doing college club swimming, go down to Masters. The host LSC, don't have to do anything for that. Class, obviously choose what kind of meet you're running. If it's age group, if it's senior open, if it's college, YMCA, Masters, paraswimming, we'll just put senior open. The meet type, usually just keep this as standard unless you have you're running a dual meet for a high school or something similar for that. Right here, you're gonna pick if it's long course meet or short course meters or yards. Let's put yards because that's what our pool is here. Country, USA. Don't have to do anything in this box down here. Probably just one. Most pools will probably just have one timer. Usually 2 timers might be in the sense that, let's say you have a 50-meter pool that you're running a meet at. You might have touch pads at one end of the pool and the other end for 50 splits. So then you would have 2 timers. Custom DQ codes, you can just kind of keep that as is, I would assume. And then time adjustment. Again, doesn't really matter if you're creating a meet for college club swimming. Just pick one and make sure it's happy with your decision. And you should get this screen once everything's done. Meet Mobile Publishing, if you choose to do that. It has some other stuff about Meet Mobile. But yeah, so we've created the Meet database now. Next step is to create events for the swim meet. First, we're gonna take our cursor and we're gonna go up to events. Maybe. There we go. Obviously, we have no events. Let's add some events. We're gonna go to the top left, hit add, and now we got this screen here. So we're just gonna create a pretty simple meet so that you guys can see that everything works correctly. So event number 1, let's make a relay just so it's in there. Let's do a women's open senior. If you choose open, obviously it's just gonna keep the ages open senior for every event. If you're choosing age group, you have to make sure that you're updating this range every time, so be aware of that. Choose your distance here for the race. So let's just say this is a 200 free relay. So once you choose this, the next thing you're going to is look here. Is this just a timed final? That's what we're going to be doing in this tutorial. Then you're just going to keep as is. It'll default to timed final. Then you'll go down here, bottom left of this box. We got the pool size. So obviously you're gonna type the pool size. Our pool here is a 6-lane pool, so we'll put 6 here, and then we'll do 6 as well for this one. 6 lanes for best. Keep the 1 here, and then we'll move. Standard assignment of lanes. You're gonna keep the heat order, most likely slow to fast. You ain't gotta do nothing down here for timed finals because we don't really have anything special for our timed finals. You're gonna go here, the middle bottom here. You ain't gotta do anything up here, most likely. Event type should usually just be standard. Most meets are gonna be like that. And then pads at both ends or pads at both ends finals. This is again for something most likely in a 50-meter pool you might see this, but you're not gonna see this in a 25-yard pool. So we move on. This bottom right box is for if you choose prelims finals or prelims semifinals up in this box. This box will light up and you're allowed to type in here. And then we will move from there. So we have our 200 women's free relay. If we hit OK, because we have, if you look, this checkbox in gender. If you hit alternate gender, then it will automatically give you the same event after you hit OK for the men's, which is very nice. We're not going to use that here because we're just going to show you a few events. So let's just make men's next event would be men's individual 100 free timed final. this is all gonna save. As long as you type it in once, you will never have to type it in again. So let's just go make a few events. Let's women's 50 butterfly, timed finals, and then we'll do men's 200. We'll chuck the 200 IM in there. Why not? So let's go with those 4 events for now. And once we click cancel and we're done with adding events, everything should show up here. One thing to note is distance. You'll have your distance of events here. Your stroke here, it will say relay next to the stroke if you choose relay. Entry fee probably should usually be 0 unless you're running some special meet. Rounds, I'll either say finals or prelims finals or prelim semis finals. Final setup should just be usually the timed finals for a basic meet. Your lanes, this should probably stay consistent unless you're running a timed finals meet, then things can change around a little bit. But usually this number should be consistent all the way down. So probably should the type of event. If you're not running any type of special event, it's gonna be, if it's no prelims and it's just the finals, this should all be NAs. They should all be slow to fast or fast to slow if that's how you wanna run your meet. And then your score, most events should be scored. They should all be scored unless you're running, again, a prelims finals. And then multi-age, no. If you're running a college club meet, no. And then manual seed should be no, so we can seed all the events later. Now, we're going to go out of this. We're gonna hit the exit button. And next we're gonna go do is we're gonna create a session for the meet. I probably didn't need to leave that tab, so let's go back into events. So in events, top row, you're gonna see sessions up here. You're gonna click on sessions and you're going to add a session. It's gonna bring up this thing, session 1. You give it a title, so let's just do YouTube tutorial. Day 1 of the meet, because there's only one day. Type the approximate start time in. Again, doesn't really matter. Just make sure if you have multiple sessions, 1 comes before 2, and 2 comes before 3, and so on and so forth, however many sessions you have. Now we go down to interval. It's going to request you put that in there. Not really sure what that means. I think that would be for if you're like the approximate start and end time to a meet. That's what the interval does. So we'll just type in 15 seconds. I assume that means between events. Don't ask me. You won't really need it. Just type in 15 and you should be good. Yards, and then this probably doesn't mean anything. Yeah, most likely you won't need anything here. Your team should be able to like calculate a max amount of teams that are coming to the meet with the amount of people that might be interested in going to your meet. So once you have this all done, you fill everything out that's necessary, you hit OK, and you can cancel. Now you can see when it's blue up here, that means we're selected on it. And when that's selected, we can just double click all of these, and they are now in the session 1. And once everything's in session 1 that we want to, we can back out again, and then we're gonna go back up to, I believe it's file. We're going to export, and you're gonna go to events for team manager. It's going to give you this stuff. You could say yes, you could say no. It doesn't really matter. We'll say yes, so it gives me this. Because we're running a pretty darn easy meet, and this is going to just be a tutorial meet to show you how to get things going from A to B. We just hit OK here. We don't really care about anything this. Now it's going to ask you where do you want to put the file into, or the event file into. So let's go into our home meet files. Why not? Let's go into spring 26. and we'll throw it in the home meet spring 2026 because that should be a fairly easy thing to find. Okay, then when you hit OK, once you've sent it to the right file, it'll say meet events zipped successfully. You can hit OK, and that is going to be pretty much it for the Hytek part on this laptop. Now, the next step before we're done and we can move to the Team Manager laptop is we have to go to our email, and I will pull up my personal email just so I can send it to myself without alerting the other people that might accidentally get the email. And we're just gonna, again, send it to myself, Benjamin Dankert, that's me. And then we don't need a subject. So once you get here to your email, this would be where you're gonna send it out to your other teams. If, let's say, you've got 3 other teams that you wanna send your events to, you're gonna throw all 3 of them up in the to line, and then you're gonna go down here. You're probably gonna give a message of some sort too, probably a meet packet. And then you're going to hit insert. You're gonna hit attach file, and you're gonna browse this computer, most likely. Now you're gonna look for your events. Oh, what'd you look at that? My meet's here, tutorial meet. So as you can tell, you can't send like a zipped file, I think, possibly, maybe. But to make it easier for you and the people that are receiving your file so that they can give you their events or their entries, you're going to double click on this here, and you're gonna hit open. It's gonna give you these 2 files. You're going to select, this can be a little awkward, but you wanna select the HYV file. No idea what it stands for, but that's the one you want. So we're going to open this one. Nope, what the hell are we doing? Oh, see, it went there. Okay, so whenever it decides to load, boom. Meet events, tutorial meet. Or what it should be, meet events, and then whatever your meet name is, that's what it's gonna be titled as. And then you're just gonna, you're gonna send that off. And the next part of the video will be entering events into your Team Manager, or entering the entries into Team Manager. So I will see you on that laptop. See ya. All right, welcome to part 2. We are going to be importing the entries into Team Manager so that we can put our swimmers into the events that they would like and be able to send that off to the Team Manager laptop that we have, or if this is where you're beginning in the video, where you're going to receive the event list from the team that's hosting the meet, and how you're going to enter those to your team's entries, your swimmers' entries, and then send it back to that team so your swimmers can be entered into the meet. First thing we're going to do is we have to go back to our email. So let's boot up our email. I'm sorry, the screen quality is about to be atrocious. But he can't seem to focus at all, which is going to be lovely for your guys' viewing pleasure. I'm so sorry. This is a crappy laptop. So here's our, that's not the right email, it's this one. All right, I'm gonna back this up a little bit just so you guys can see a little bit. Okay. Here you go. You got your file here. You're going to hit download. It's going to go up here. You have a file, whatever. Now let's go into Team Manager. Got Team Manager here. We're going to go into File, and we're going to hit Import, and we're going to import some events for a swim meet. It's gonna bring up this thing. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, look at that. Today, meet events tutorial meet. Boom. We're going to double click that. It's gonna make sure that you're doing the right meet. We got the meet name, it's a tutorial meet, the start date, hey, it's my birthday, and the course or the length of the pool, which is gonna be yards. Get okay. It's gonna tell you, as you know in the last section, we made it 4 events. There's our 4 events that are imported. Said okay. Now it's gonna give you this screen that's just very similar to the one we saw in the last part. This is crucial for the meet packet that they gave you, that the team should give you when sending out information about the meet, so that you can type this in. I'm gonna give me 1 second to type in all the important information. You have to type in the entry deadline, so we're just gonna type in 05/06, the day before the meet, just so if you do it the same day as the meet, it does like to be a little crabby, the software. Just make sure you just do it the day before. This should be it. You're gonna hit save. Oh, I didn't add it. Let's add it. So let's throw it in Wisconsin. Why not? Save. Usually you don't have to do anything with this. If you're going to a meet that you know you're gonna have to pay at, teams will most likely have a different form of payment they would like. So usually this gets untouched. Save. This is gonna get untouched most likely as well. All right, now we're on this screen here. If it can focus, you can see the list of events or meets here that are on your team manager. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the meet that you want to enter people into. So, God, jeez, focus. Okay, so there's our tutorial meet in the top. Tells you it there too. So let's go into the tutorial meet. God, this is so awful. Holy cow. I am so sorry. I don't know what's worse, the screen that you guys get to see in this video, or what looks like a crappy 2000s music video. Let's go. So we're on our meet, selected on our meet, and we're going to hit. Usually, first thing you're gonna do, as long as all of the people that you want in the meet are already in the software, you just have to go to entries, and usually the easiest way to do it is entry by event, because you can enter all entries for the meet in this one here. If you do by name, you're only able to do individual entries and not relays. Let's go to entry. We'll go to entry by event just so you can see what it looks like. And so top here, you have your events, 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously, if you have more, it's gonna be able to scroll down. But first thing you're gonna do is, most likely, you're entering your events for your team. So it's the big red line around the box. You're you're swimming for a team, and you're gonna choose the team you're swimming for. Marquette for my team. Then you're gonna go down here. This is this filters all the people in the list by the team or the school. This is important if you have to add swimmers from other schools because they do not have team manager or meet manager. So you do have to occasionally create individual accounts, which I will show you in a later part of this video, and probably at the end in kind of the miscellaneous information section. But anyway, so we'll start with just a normal individual event. We'll go to the relays last. So, and it will automatically filter by men and women when you're on a men's event or a women's event. So let's just enter the first 6 people. So one thing you want to look at is here you have their last name, first name, middle initial, entered, team, best time, and custom time is what that is. And then you got some other things that, guess what, don't mean crap most of the time. So let's start here with Tyler, Max, myself, Gabe, Ryan, and Jack. Now, once you have them entered, the line will go yellow, and you can type in a custom time. This would be like their seat time. So let's give, this is the 100 free. Let's just give them a 59, 99, and if you hit the down arrow, you go to the next one. Let's go 56, 99. Let's give myself a 48, 99. I swim faster than that, but I'm just being generous. And let's give a 50.99 to Ryan, and we'll leave the other two at no time so you can see how that works. Actually, we'll do one no time. Let's just throw this one at a 57.99. We'll keep the last one as a no time. And you're pretty much just gonna do that for a ton of the entries for the meets. We're not gonna put you know how to do seed times. That's not difficult. I don't need to show you that again and waste some time. So let's just throw a few more entries in there. And we will move on to the next part of the video, which is our relay entries. Relays are a little different. It's a little more work, we'll call it, if you can really call it work. Let's give you a better view. Oh, look at that. You can see the screen now a little bit. So when going through relays, it's gonna, again, you gotta make sure you have a team that you're swimming for so you can make the relays, let's say, for that team. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna hit new relay. And it should give you a relay here highlighted in yellow. That means that's the relay that's being edited or added to at the moment. Your list of swimmers in their order from first to second, third, and fourth. And if it's an 8-person relay, you have 8 spots. Let's go into, let's just add the first, oh, geez Louise. You're just gonna add swimmers down the list. There you go. You got your 4 swimmers here. And then if you have another, if let's say you have an A and a B, all you're gonna do is hit new relay, and you're gonna add another 4 swimmers to the list. Good Lord. All right, let's say these are all the entries we want for this swim meet. We can exit, same button looking as the one up top. I'm just gonna click another meet and then click back in, and you can see that shows that we have 13 different swimmers entered into this meet, and 2 relays, which we just created, are entered into the meet. This is good, this is great. We can now move to our next step, which is we're going to exit the form, you're going to file, and you're going to export your meet entries, and you're going to set a file for them to be sent to. I have just a basic file here, and it's got to make sure the meet is the correct meet. You can see the list of drop downs. Just make sure you're on the right meet. It gives you the date of the meet, which should help. And what you're going to do is pretty much you're never going to stray away from this. Keep export relays always checked, keep export only relays unchecked, and keep do not include entry times unchecked. Next, we just hit OK. It's gonna say entries exported to your file name here, mark, and then your entries, your team, and the entries for the tutorial meet on the date of the meet, zipped. Now we can go back into our email, and I'm just going to reply to myself. I apologize for how crappy the screen looks on your guys' end. Yeah. We're going to insert, it's gone from that angle. Let's keep it like that for a little bit. We're going to insert a file. Browse the computer. Let's go to our Coach Dankert, and this meat here, the tutorial meat. We're going to double click it so that, because it's a zipped file, we need to open it, and it gives you two options. You're going to send the HY3 file back to the team that needs the file. So we will do that next in a second. So double click on the H3 file. Should go in here. It's again going to be another very, very small file. We're going to hit send. And that's pretty much it for this part of the video. We're going to do part 3 next, which is going back onto Meet Manager. We're going to import those entries, and we're going to see the events, and I'm going to show you guys how to create and send out psych sheets or the Meet programs, and show you how to export entry names to the display link for Colorado time system, so that names, if you have an electronic scoreboard that can show names, can show you the right names in the right order. Let's do that right now. Okay. Welcome back to this laptop here, the Meet Manager laptop, for part 2, or really it's part 3 of the whole system, but we're back at Meet Manager for a second time. This ain't the last time we're gonna be here. So let's make the most of this time, and let's move to some of the other fun stuff when it comes to making a swim meet and running a swim meet. Here was what we're gonna do is, in the last part, we sent the entries back to myself. So we're going to hit the down arrow. We're gonna download, and we're gonna see that's gonna go up in their download section. So we're gonna go back into Meet Manager, and first step is make sure you're on the right meet. So the top line up here is gonna show the database, and it will show you just a bunch of text that doesn't matter, but for YouTube meet, or your file for YouTube, which means you're in the right home. Let's go to File. We're going to this time import, and we're importing some entries. Let's go our downloads file, and yup, our entries for our tutorial meter right here. So let's open that up. It's gonna give you this stuff right here. Who cares? We just hit OK and we move on. We do not really care about any of these checkboxes. Just make sure, include the one with no time. Everything else, I'm pretty sure we really don't care unless you're running some sort of special little meet. But again, this is a tutorial for how to run a basic meet, and this should be able to tell you how to run a meet as long as you're not doing any type of, as long as it's just a timed finals meet where you run everything once through with nothing special. This tutorial should work for you. So just keep it like this and hit OK. Import finished. It's going to give you the amount of teams that are at the meet, the amount of athletes that signed up, the amount of entries that are in the meet, the relays that are in the meet. Relay names, doesn't matter. If exceptions equal 0, then we're loving life. If that's 1 or more, consider yourself done. You're gonna need some help with those. But as long as you do it the way I taught you, you should be fine. Let's hit OK, and boom, they're in there. We can check by going to our events. Maybe, no, definitely not. Let's do it the right way. Let's go to athletes. So when you hit athletes, it's gonna load, and once it's done loading, it's gonna show you all the individuals that are entered into the swim meet. Let's go down to yours truly, and you can see that when I click on myself, I am a part of the men's 100 free with an entry time of 48.99, and I'm a part of men's 200 IM with no time. This is incredible. This is great. Let's click back out of there. That means we did it right. Now we are going to go into the next thing we need to go is we need to seed our events. We have the entries. Can't run a meet if we don't have a seeding for our individuals. So let's go into that. We hit seating up here. As long as you have a fairly easy meet, and also you can see here, this is where you can go to check entries as well. As you can see here, entries should be numbered. Don't know we don't care about SCR or ALT. We care about heats. It says, oh, there's no heats. Why? You haven't actually seeded the meet yet. Once you seed them, that number will update. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your cursor, go to the top of the screen, you're gonna hit select all. Everything should glow yellow. You can see down here too, if a meet is unseated, it will tell you it's unseated. Now we can go back out to the screen, and you're gonna go to the top of the screen, and you're gonna, right next to select all, to the left of it, you can just hit start seeding. And it should just do this. Select seeding completed, number of events seeded equals the amount of events in your meet. You hit OK. Boom. Everything's blue. Blue means good. You can see here, everything is seeded. And if you look over here, heats have numbers. This is lovely. This is good. This is great. We can now exit from here. And next thing you're going to want to do is probably before the swim meet, you want to send out some information to the teams just to keep them posted about what things are looking like, potential maybe end time for the meet so they can plan around that, etc., etc. Let's just go in and let's make a psych sheet for the meet. We're going to go up into reports in the top left. I hate that it tries to focus on my hand while I'm trying to point at the screen. And you have your options here. A lot of these are important. We'll get to them later. What you're going to do is you're going to hit, let's just go psych sheet. It's going to load. It's going to give you the same kind of look of the things as it did when you're seeding. Again, you look at the top. You're going to go up to the top and hit select all. Everything glows yellow. As long as everything's seeded, this will work. And you're going to go and create the report. It's going to load. It's going to load. If I click it, it will load, and boom, it gives you, would you look at that? It looks like a heat sheet, or for a swim meet, or a psych sheet. You can look here, everybody is listed. It's in order for like this event here, top to bottom, fastest, slowest. You got your relays up there. Everything looks great. We can move. Let's say another thing. If you want to send your psych sheet to the teams before the meet, and this goes for the heat sheet as well, which I will show you how to create, but I won't be showing you how to send it because it's the same steps. You are gonna be on the screen, and you're gonna go to take your cursor to the top left, and you're gonna hit export report. It's gonna give you some options. Usually you want to make it a PDF so it's viewable pretty easily, and however you want to export it to, I assume this goes to your files. You can do it anyway. I like to hit applicate. I think I hit application normally, so let's hit OK on that, and it's going to say what page range. Just do it all. Just obviously you're going to give every team the entire meet for your psych sheet. You're going to hit OK, and it's going to pull up. Look at that, a PDF of your entries. This is great. This is what you want to see, and then obviously I'm not going to show you how to do that because y'all are probably smart. If you're watching this video, you guys know how to download a PDF and email it or text it or however you want to send it over to other teams. Let's go back to Meet Manager. We can back out of here and we can exit. Let's go create a heat sheet that you're probably going to want to give teams at the swim meet. Same thing, select all, create report. Now the heat sheet one is important because this is something you would want to give to, let's say, an official for the swim meet. Or you'd probably want to give it to an official so they know who to DQ and who not to. You also want to give a heat sheet to the announcer because the announcer needs to know who's swimming, and you might want to give it to the person who's running the control timer or the Colorado timer so that they know whether to move to the next heat or move to the next event. Another thing, really quick, actually I'll show it in a different section of the video, but now you know how to make the meat program and the heat and the psych sheet. Let's go out, and now the last thing we need to do is we need to send these entries off so that we can create the entries onto our display link, which will be in part 4 of this video. So what you're gonna need is most likely a trusty little flash drive, or whatever these are called, hard drive, little guy, something you can plug in to the side of a laptop. Let's plug this guy in. And it's probably gonna show me that he plugged in. Look at that, this is great, this is incredible. I'm just going to select all of these. This is from our last meet that could have ran better. Let's just delete everything. And where did it go? Why did it just... We want to trash all of these items. Okay, now we have a free USB. It should always be a free USB, please, so that you don't mess anything up when you send the entries over. So let's go back into and make sure you know the name, USB, and then D, or whatever your USB drive is gonna be called. Let's go to our file. We're going to export, and you're gonna go all the way down to start lists for Scoreboard. It's got a few different types of scoreboards here. Colorado Timing System, or CTS, or Omega, if Omega's scoreboard is in use. We have a Colorado time system. Everything that Marquette has is Colorado time. So we're going to set start lists for Colorado timing system. And you don't want to send it to just wherever. You want to make sure that you open your folder path, you find your USB, and you send it to the USB. This is the reason we create sessions for the swim meet, is because you can only send one session, I believe, at a time. So make sure that you have the session there when creating the events for the meet back in part 1. Now we're gonna hit OK. It's gonna tell you how many events are in the swim meet. There's 4 of them. So 4 events start list files copied to your USB. Okay. And just like that, we can go ahead and we can eject this little guy here by taking it out of the laptop. And we're gonna be plugging this into our display link computer, which I will show you in the next part. Okay, part 4 of this video is in the last part, we downloaded the entry lists to put on a little flash drive or USB, and we're gonna be plugging that into our display link so that we can see those names on the video board when we're running a swim meet. So we have our USB here, and we're going to plug that into the computer base, because the last 3 were all laptops. This is a computer, so we're gonna throw this in the computer, and you should see something on the screen there pop up shortly whenever I can get this guy into the computer. There we go. Give it a second, and it looks very similar to our last thing, so this is what we want to see. Make sure you know the name of your USB. For whatever reason on this computer, it's named F. Oh well. We can close out of that. We can go to our display link here. It's gonna pull up our display link for Colorado time, and we're going to go to swimming, and we're going to hit new meet, and we're gonna clear all the stuff from our meet, and we're just gonna name our meet. I don't think this really matters, but we're gonna do this for just what did I do? There we go. Let's just name it tutorial meet, because that's what it's called. And And we're going to go down here. We're going to select folder with SCB files. SCB files is what we made when, and we moved your guys, I'm sorry. This is what we did when we exported those entry lists. So we're going to find our USB, successfully imported however many heats of your meat across 4 events. This is good, this is great. Okay, now we're gonna have our events here. You can see event 1, women 200 free relay. If we increase the event, we can see, there we go. We have our freestyle, event 3. This one has 2 heats, so we can flip between the heats up here. I just realized you guys can barely see. Let me see if I can angle your guys' point of view at all. Not great, but I can kind of hold it. But you can see up there, heat and event can be put up or down. So next we're gonna go to, actually, that's pretty much it for this part in terms of getting the entries onto this computer here. We're gonna link that to our last laptop we haven't looked at, which is the Colorado timing laptop. Once that's all set up, then we can move forward. I'll see you guys there. Okay, welcome to part 5 of this long video on running a swim meet. Next station is this guy's first appearance on this video. Is going to be our Colorado Gen 7 swimming laptop to run the timing interface alongside our display link. So what we're going to do is we're going to, there's 3 steps to turning this guy. The first 2 laptops, the Meet Manager and Team Manager, those kind of work on their own for the setup purposes. Now we're at the point where, it's day of the meet, we're turning everything on. This has got to get created. So we're gonna go and we're going to hit, we can't just hit Gen 7 swimming yet because there's 3 steps to turning this guy on to work. First is you must have every touchpad for each lane plugged in, or else the thing will not turn on. Secondly, you need we plugged, I have buttons in all lanes right now in the touchpad box so that it thinks the touchpads are in, because it works for turning this on, and that's all I really need to show you guys. But when you guys run a meet, you should have the touchpads plugged in before you start this. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna turn to your little cereal box, your Colorado timer, which has, this is the back side of it, front side's over there, but I wanted to show you this part. So when running a swim meet, this guy's got a lot of cords that you got to plug in. We have the serial index starter, so it's going to look something like this. It's going to have some cords in the back. A lot of these are not necessary entirely, but some of them definitely are. This guy right here, this big, I'll try to, sorry if the camera gets shaky. This guy right here is going to be your power cord that goes into the wall. So you can see down there, that's the big guy right there, Scoreboard. Just trying to make the video back to normal. Then we have 2 more cables that I have labeled for my team. We have cable 4, which in these align with this page here. Cable 4 is going to go to the Meet Manager laptop, and cable 2 is going to go to the timer interface connection, which we're working on right now. But we have to turn this guy on, which means, sorry, I'm in a damn boot right now, it's making it a little difficult, but in the front of this guy, there is a button that you must press, and once that should start this guy up, and as you can see shortly, as long as everything works, it should start spinning while it's loading up. but we have to plug some things in first per chance. So let's do that. Cable 4 is going to go to our meat man. Actually, we'll start with cable 2. Cable 2 has to go to our meat man or our timer laptop. So let's untie this guy. It's got a bit of a funky end. So yeah, looks like when it's this cord here, Ethernet looking cord, and that's going to plug in to the side over here. Switch hands for a second so I can get this guy plugged in. You're going to lose me for a second. Just hold tight. You'll be fine. All right. That should be plugged in now. I'm actually going to turn this off. Oh shoot, maybe it's ready. Okay, I'm back. So this guy's plugged in here. You're also going to take cable 4, and that is just a normal looking USB. And we're going to plug that. It's going to be a bit of a crowd over here. That's going to go into the side. We can push this a little bit so there's more room. This guy is going to go into this table here. Now everything's connected as one. They're all going to work as a team. And I believe this means you can see over here it's spinning. That means it's still loading, which means don't open it, don't turn anything on yet. Once it starts to flash, kind of on and off, then we're good to hit open up the software on our timing interface laptop. So I'm going to stop the video, and once that goes flashy, I'll restart the video and you guys can see everything turned on, working. And 2 seconds after I ended that clip, it turned on fully. So let's sit down. And let's do this again. Holy mess of cords. So let me set up my little phone stand. Can you guys see the screen? Yes, you can. Let's go into our timer. That's not the right one. Let's go to the right one. Gen 7 swimming. It's gonna look like this. Okay, it thinks we have timers in, so we're gonna hit OK. Actually, this is for this screen here. This first one's gonna be for this guy. Just means that he's alive and working, so let's just hit OK. Let's see if it lets me get in here. All right, no, so now we have to create or select a meet. Let's hit new meet. No, just 1 second. Give me 1 second. You know what? Who cares? I'm not incredible at this, so we don't really know. I don't know. I'm not great at knowing this, how to do this normally, so we're just gonna do it the stupid way. Let's go into create. So we create a new meet. I'm sorry that this thing is, there's so many damn cords just kind of laying across the ground or table. All right. So we have our new meet, tutorial meet. Start date, my birthday. End date, my birthday, governing body, whatever. And you hit OK. Pool length, make sure you type in your correct pool length, 25 yards. Timing hardware, course 1, most likely it's gonna be this. Don't really know. We're just gonna hit that, why not? Short course yards, start time, sure, 8 a.m., doesn't really matter. We're not gonna do the default events because we have to create the events. Session 1, just hit yes. Okay. Release notes, again, we don't care. Let's get to our blank screen. Boom, would you look at that? What? Where is everything? Give it a second. Look at that. I got aura. We're going to need to make our events in the correct order. So I'm gonna do that real quick. We got event 1, which is women's 200, and it is a freestyle, it is a relay. We don't do far end splits at our pool because we don't have timing systems at both ends, just at this end. Note that the round, because we're only doing it once, we can put none. We can also just do finals if it's, but let's just hit none for now. And that's it. Now let's quick add our other events. We have men's 100 freestyle. It's not a relay. Just make sure this up here matches with your events, your correct events. Let's add another event. Next one was women's, it's a 50 fly, I believe. And finally, men's 200. So they don't have a medley option. So what you can do is just type in either IM or medley for the medley relay. So men's 200 yard IM. Now we can save up here, save that, let's go back. Should give us 6 end lanes. It does give us 6 lanes. This is great. So next thing we can do is, so that means if you see ready for start, that means we're ready. That means we're good here. I'm actually going to do a live transition to our other laptop over here. And we're on our correct meet. What we do here is we hit run. And that's gonna pull up this bunch of fun stuff when it loads. This means if everything looks good here, everything is seated in cyan over here, that means we're good to go. And actually, I really hope that the echo from the pool isn't loud enough and it's getting in the way of this recording. My apologies if it is. And yeah, so I'm actually going to cut the video here because everything is going to be pretty much ready to run the meet. I'm just going to get the everything, like the scoreboard, started up so that you guys can see what that looks like. All right. See you in the next section. All right, our final section here. Just quick running the meet or running the first event. And I'm not actually gonna run the whole thing because it's a one-man team and the one man running the video is on a scooter with a calf tear. So I'm not gonna go hit the buttons to run the actual race itself. So I'll just be quickly shutting it off in here as soon as it starts. So here's the race that we're gonna be running. Actually, yeah. So it's gonna be our women's 200 free relay, A and B, and we'll see what it makes me do. So I'm gonna go move my rolling chair. We're gonna pop this guy open, and we're going to, on my end, I am going to change the presets so that our screen, our scoreboard that gets used during the day, just as for advertising stuff, it switches to the swim meet. So let's boot this up, let's load it. As you can see now, we have an incredible blank screen up there. That's great. Now I'm gonna go on this laptop here, or the display link. You're gonna go to your display link, and most likely you'll have a template or some sort of meet for running things. This is something I created for my club. So it has our club name, Marquette Club Swim. State champion, this is state championships. This is all default for the state championships is default for the meet name, and then 50 meter freestyle is default for the event. You'll have your event number here, your lane, your place, your swimmer names, your team affiliation, splits, and time. I just have them overlap because realistically, besides, we're never running 1000s here, so nobody's events are going to be over 10 minutes and going into the splits. So what we're going to do is you're going to go hover over your template that you want to use. You're going to right click and you're going to send it to whatever your control is going to be called. This is what ours is called. See that? We hit that there, and if you look up there, whoa, that's our race. Event 1, tutorial meet. I'm sorry that's not totally focused, but oh, there we go. Meet hasn't started. Heat 1. Come on. Marquette A and Marquette B. So here's what you're going to do is we're going to now, just as how you do in a normal swim meet. Normally, there's an official out there with the starter mic, and he's going to say, take your marks, go. And when he hits that button to say go, that timer is going to start up there because the start button will be connected to this guy here, and that's going to come across on here. I'm going to start. You can also start races from here to like practice things. So I'm going to hit start, and here you're going to go. You're going to hear it probably beep on me. This guy's going to beep. Let's see. I don't know if you'll hear it through the video, but you can see that started up there. You can see up there those started too, but we're going to say the meet was ran and it was accidentally a false start by just quitting early. Was this a false start? If you hit yes, things will reset. No harm's done. That's going to reset to 0. This is going to start. Yeah. So one thing you want to do here is when you're running this meet, let's say, as we can see from up there, only lanes 3 and 4 are going to be filled. And we can do, what you're going to do is, let's say you're looking at your, because most likely if you're working on this laptop, you'll have a heat sheet with who's running these events, or who's in these events. What you can do is, let's say, oh, nobody's in lanes 1, 2, 5, and 6. We can turn those off here by tapping on the numbers. And if we look back at the scoreboard, you can see those lanes are gone, and we'll just have those 2 numbers. That is so when the last relay finishes that is in the pool, this timer will stop automatically, which is nice. And it will do kind of a little bit of the work for you for moving on to the next section. So we're gonna hit ready start one more time. And you can see up there, we only have 2 numbers now running, which is gonna be good for us. Save and reset. Otherwise, if you have a, let's say you accidentally leave there's one lane open that isn't there, then you can just hit that button once the other 2 relays have finished. You can save and exit there, and the other, let's say if there was nobody there, it's not going to check anything, and if there, let's say a relay was there, but you didn't turn it off, they'll just be given either a no-show, usually it's a no-show, did not show. You're going to hit yes, and let's say 200 women's relay has finished and we want to go to the next event. There's 2 buttons here. You can either hit this, there's 2 buttons. This one here goes to next event. So if you want, there's only one heat of this, as we know. So you would just go to next event. But let's say there's multiple heats of this event. You hit this button here for heat, and that would move to the next heat. Obviously the screen's gonna be blank now because there is no heat 2. So let's move to, I'll just keep the screen here. So you can see as I go to event 2, then we'll have a whole set of new names to be on the board there. That's pretty much it for what running the swim meet is. I'm gonna go over, because I can't run the meet when I'm on my scooter, I'll be doing some just informational stuff from a point of view of, let's say the meet has finished and we have to score the events and get the times from events, and just some other miscellaneous info that would be important to know when running a swim meet. So I'll see you in that kind of appendix section of this video. We'll head there now. All right, I want to make a quick note from the last section that I didn't make now, or that I didn't make then, but I'm gonna do that quick. I'm just gonna angle it over here for you. Is when you have on the Gen 7 here, the timing system, when the meet's over, because this laptop is connected to the box to over there, all you have to do to turn the, you don't have to turn the box off on its own separately. All you can do is you want to close out, and you got this little checkbox here. Just hit this checkbox. That's gonna send a power off command to the timer. You hit OK. That's gonna shut off, and you can see this guy should also cut out, just like that. So there we go, that's done. Now, back to Meet Manager for a little bit of, there's other informational stuff about scoring stuff, seating stuff, adjusting stuff, etc. We're actually gonna go back real quick. Hopefully this doesn't change much. But, so what I wanna look at first, for a little miscellaneous feature that you can play around with, is the seating of the meet. Obviously, we already kind of seated the meet, and it's on the hard drive that's in the laptop, or on the computer for the display link, but this is important to know if you're running, let's say, a prelims finals meet. You might want some events to be circle seated, so let's go look at seating adjustments. So you're gonna go to setup, and we'll look at a few things here. Meet setup doesn't matter. Athlete relay preferences really won't matter. What you want is seating preferences. Let's go to seating preferences. Nothing really matters here. Let's go through it though, just to the important stuff that you may want. So, number of preliminary heats to circle seed for your events that are less than 400. Let's say we want 3 heats. It'll tell you normally this is 3. There's 3 right there. Next, we can go either standard or circle seed. So you can, and you don't have to do every event standard. You don't have to do every heat circle seeded. The only thing you have to do is, if you have, let's say, events, just to make it simple, 1 through 10 are standard seeded, 11 through 20 are circle seeded. You would go into your seeding. We'll make sure this is set to standard here. Then you go into seeding, select events manually, 1 through 10. And then you're gonna go, then you seed those events. So 1 through 10 will be seeded and ready to swim, 11 through 20 will not be. You'll come back to here, to the screen, seeding preferences, switch it to circle seed, and then go reseed 11 through 20. That's how it's gonna kind of work. Another thing that you may wanna look at is, let's say you're running a dual meet where you want to make sure that the teams are, let's say, alternating pools. So let's say you have, let's say, high school, the cats and the dogs. Let's say the cats are in lanes 1, 3, and 5. The dogs are in 2, 4, 6, or that's how you want to run it. That's what you're gonna kind of do here. I'm gonna assume you're just gonna make sure that you kind of do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then you can just hit in lanes 1 through 6, strict assignments for every heat, which may make some issues. Let's say you can do that for the fastest heat only. That's probably gonna be your best case, though sometimes if it's, let's say, a high school meet where you know that you're only gonna have a varsity heat and a junior varsity heat, then you can do that strict assignments as long as you know that you're not throwing too many people into one event. That will work. And yeah, so that's how you're gonna do that if you're running a dual meet. Otherwise, yeah. I've never ran a meet like this, so I wouldn't really know how to do that. But it's something, I believe it's gonna be around kind of that when you're running it. Maybe I'll make a different video for running like a high school meet or something later. But that's what you need to know for the seating preferences for seating different events. Another thing in setup that's important is going to be the scoring setup. I don't know, let's hit this real quick just to see. Yeah, that's too much words, we don't care. We want to go setup and then scoring setup. And then there's you can have two different standards or two different types of scoring. So standard, this is going to be your pretty basic top 16, get your points, double points for relays. But what you can go and do here is you can edit those. So let's say we only want top 8 scoring points. Let's give first place 10 points. And then you do unfortunately have to do all of this manually, which kind of sucks. But let's give and then we can kind of do the same over here. And if you want to give double points to those as well, you can pretty easily do the math on how many points how many points you want to give. It's all up to who's ever running the meet. I have my own way of doing points. Some teams have their own way of doing points. It's however you guys want to run a meet. Hit OK. Boom, they're saved. Now the meet is going to be scored in that fashion. Other than that, in setup, really not much you're going to need to do here. Yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Let's go into, let's say you get a text from one of the coaches that sends entries to you and says, hey, our swimmer, whoever, can no longer swim at the meet. He or she was in this individual and this relay. Can we get them switched? And we can say, of course, that's not a difficult task. We can do that. How you might go about that is one thing you're gonna go to athletes. Let's pick on do I have someone in both a relay and I did not. Who did I put in a relay? Did I even make relays? Let's go to relays first. Maybe the relays don't show there. Let's start with relays, and then we can go into individuals. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have any additional swimmers. But let's say, and I've had this happen before when I've been running a swim meet. I get approached by a team that says, accidentally, in our A and B relay, we accidentally swapped our breaststrokers. Our B breaststroker was in. Actually, it's not really going to matter more or less for breaststroke. Let's go with backstroke because that's a flat start. So I got approached and asked, hey, we accidentally switched our backstrokers around just on accident. And the backstroker who was supposed to be in the A swam in the B and vice versa. And the one that swam in the B accidentally, she got the national cut for college club swimming. But that time is under someone else's name. Can we get that fixed? And we're like, of course we can fix that. And here's how you fix. So let's say this individual, whoever goes, let's say the first swimmer here, Quinn, swam in the B accidentally and had a really good time, good enough to go to Natties. We want to give her that time. So what we can do is make sure we're selected on the A, and all you're going to do is you're going to double tap her name. It's going to take her out the relay. Then we go to the B, and we'll switch out Sarah here, double tap her name, and then we're going to double tap Quinn's name, and she's going to fill in that position, and then we'll go back to the A, and Sarah's going to fill in where Quinn was. That's how you switch people in relays around. And if, let's say, someone can't go to the meet, but they want to fill in someone who's not swimming a relay, their name will be in this list over here, not in yellow, meaning that they're not in the race yet. So you can just double tap whoever you want to, whoever's not showing up, and just double tap who is taking their spot. For entries, let's say, you know, as I did, let's say I got a tear in my calf and I'm no longer able to swim and I need to take myself out of my events. Then we can just hit select, we can remove athlete from event 2 and remove athlete from event 4 by doing this and this. And then we can, if we want to have them back in the we can. Let's say, you know, I magically healed my torn calf in 2 days and I'm back. Then we just enter me back into the meet. One thing you have to make sure is once you have all these final changes done, then you want to reseat. Let's say you probably, as long as it's in enough time before the meet, you give it enough space between the two, you want to make sure that once you deselect or take someone out of a swim meet, you probably want to go in and you want to reseed the events that have to get fixed due to people not being able to swim anymore. Just so then there's less kind of blank spaces throughout the races in there. Other things from a running a meet perspective. Printing out timer sheets is a big one. You want to go to reports, similar to the psych sheet. You want to go to reports, and you're going to, right below psych and meet, not meet check-in, you're going to the lane and timer sheets. And same thing, you're just going to select every event, and you're going to create the report. Now it's going to show up a little awkwardly. So here's, obviously, you've probably seen a heat sheet or a timer sheet before. It's going to look like that. Make sure, I think you want to do this, is make sure you just, before you print anything out, make sure you go through and have all 6 lanes just make sure you go to the end up here where the forward buttons get grayed out. Make 1 or 2 copies, depending on how many timers you have in those lanes. And then we can move from there. Yes. So you'd hit print up here. As long as this laptop is connected to a printer, then you're able to get those printed out. So that's another thing. Next point of interest would be results. So I'm gonna run this first event, and we're gonna say, we'll just go here once it fully loads. And usually what you're gonna do is when the event is over, so let's say these 2 relays swam and they finished up and they went, let's say a 2:00, it doesn't really matter, 2:01 for the A and a 2:05 for the B. Once everything's done, and on this laptop, you hit the save and exit button that we were pressing on and off just to make sure nothing was running, like the false start stuff. When that gets hit, then you can go to this laptop and you can hit get times down here. And that's gonna go into the computer box or the little timer box, and it's gonna collect those times from those lanes, and it's gonna show up on the finals times. Let's say the touchpad times are gonna be here, and then the backup 1 would be like the little clicker button. That's gonna show up there. If you have 2 of those, it'll show up there in the second row. So let's just say, again, let's just type these in real quick. Give me a second, holy cow. Let's say this relay went a 2:01, and the relay beneath them, the B, went a 2:05. In the back, let's just put the backup in for a 2:03. Actually, it has to be pretty close, or else it's gonna get angry. So the backup 1 went a 2:01.15, and the backup for lane 4 went a 2:05.02. Okay, those were our times. I don't need to see that. So as long as everything looks, you can see up here, now that everything's been all the relays have their times, it says done instead of seated. We want to score those events now. And that's a pretty easy button because it's in bright green. Score. And would you look at that? You have your scores, you have the swimmers there, points scored there, and if you want to print this out to tape up on a wall, same button as you did for the timer sheets, you print it there. Exit. And you do this for the whole meet. And that's pretty much it for the results stuff, making sure everything gets scored. When a meet is finished, what you can do then, let's say, if just so you can give the results out to the teams that came and swim at your meet, you can go again to reports, and at the bottom or middle bottom is going to be results and scores. Let's hit results. Obviously, it's going to look a little funky because we only have one event that was resulted, but let's create the report. One thing you can do, and I encourage it when sending these out, is go down to here and, oh, look at that. You can have the team scores listed at the bottom of the final report. So I have event 1 selected, all of the stuff down here is selected for the scores, and let's create the report. So you have your event 1 report, and then you have your combined team scores and your scores for the genders. Obviously, we've only did a women's event, so the women's score will be the only one there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for reports, I'm pretty sure, for like the important ones that you'll be using for a pretty general meet. I'll throw out probably in I'll do one little final section at the end for just some error stuff for fixing errors or whatnot. But yeah, this is pretty much it for the information stuff that you will need. So that's pretty much how you run a swim meet in like just over an hour or so. Thank you for listening and watching the video. I hope you learned a thing or two about the Colorado timing system. It's been a joy to kind of learn this on my own, and I'm glad that I can use my knowledge I've learned to teach other folks about the inner workings of Hytek's Colorado system. If you have any questions on anything, please, I'll throw my email down in the description of the video. Please feel free to reach out. Otherwise, drop some stuff in the comments if you have any questions, and I will respond to those as promptly as I can, as long as I have notifications on for my own account. But yeah, this is it. Thank you for watching. This has been Coach Dankert for the Marquette Club swim team signing out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you, guys.